So, Laker Nation, tonight we played the Grizzlies. I guess last night, because by the time I get this podcast out, it'll be tomorrow. I'm behind on getting my podcast out, and I apologize. I apologize to the 7 of you that watch my videos consistently. I really do appreciate y'all taking the time to watch my podcast, hear my views, listen to my thoughts on this team. Like I mentioned before, the hardest thing is watching this team with all the tools that they need to win ball games. And not only to win ball games at a high clip versus high teams, high ranked teams, you know, the number 1, number 2, number 3 seeds. Because, see, we have the tools to beat these teams. And beat them convincingly. Let alone the teams that are under 500, that are in the lower 13, 14, 15 ranking in the stands, East or West. And we come out tonight strong. In the first quarter, LeBron leads the charge. And then he looks to the side. He looks to his other side. He said, okay, fellas, I started us off. I'm leading this team. I'm doing what I need to do to get y'all in rhythm. I'm doing what I need to do to get y'all going. Let's get going. And although he looks to the side, he makes the right passes. He makes the right reads. And there's nobody there. There's nobody there to assist LeBron in scoring or defense. Now I know what you're thinking. Please don't tell me that you're saying LeBron needs more help. He's got AD. He's got Russell Westbrook. He's got Carmelo Anthony. He's got Malik Monk. He's got a great young player in THT. He's got shooters, Wayne Ellington, Carmelo, Monk, Kent Bazemore when he plays. He's got some good big men in AD, Dwight, and DJ. Please don't tell me he needs help. And I would say, look at the games we play versus the almost worst teams in the NBA. And you tell me, out of the games LeBron has played, does he need help? And I think your answer, just like mine, would be yes. LeBron still needs help. How is it that one of the oldest, if not the oldest player on this Lakers team is doing everything he can to put his team in position to win ball games, and his other 2, possibly 3 Hall of Famers do not step up and take lead and take charge? Not only do they not step up or take charge or take the lead of the team, they also don't step up to even assist LeBron, to lend a helping hand in energy and effort. That is what we've been witnessing watching this Lakers team every game that LeBron James plays. Every game that LeBron James has played in, he's looked the youngest. He's looked the most athletic. He's looked the most interested. He's looked the most everything. Anything basketball-wise, when LeBron James has played, he has been the most. Now, I know what you're thinking. Of course he's going to be the most. You're saying he's the greatest player in the world. He's the greatest player ever. So he should. But should he? At age 37, with all of these Hall of Famers and all of this help that he so-called has, why is it that he has to do everything? We got rid of the pieces that weren't going to step up when we needed them to step up. Night in and night out, we dealt with this for the past 3 years. Even the year that they won the chip, there were times when this team just looked disinterested, lacked focus, lacked discipline, energy, effort, heart, you name it. It's almost like the Kobe passing really sparked a fire in them to win the chip. And now that it's been, 2 years? They no longer want to honor the house that Kobe built, the house that Magic built, the house that Worthy built, and the house that the captain built. And of course, I can go on down the list. Shaq, so many different names. They no longer want to honor that. Now, there's a way you can lose a basketball game. And there's a way that you can lose a basketball game by not even trying. And that's what it feels like. It feels like the Lakers are going through these games not even trying. And then when they do try, they dominate. But the issue is that they pick and choose when they try a little too often. I'm going to run some clips here.
Between these two teams, Bane, speed dribble, Banks. They shoot 58% in the paint. That's one of the best percentages in the NBA. Here's Bane for three. Tango. Tillman trying to tap it back in, still working on the offensive glass. 4 seconds in the period. Jones for three. Down the well it goes with 1.5.
Between the turnovers, the lack of effort, the lack of energy, the lack of heart, the lack of just sheer willingness to want to win, this team is shut off. You have a great win with Boston, over Boston, dominating, even though Jason Tatum had a terrific game. And you go down to Memphis, Ja Morant's house, and Ja Morant's not playing. Their second best player is not playing in Dillon Brooks. This team is deflated to the point to where their best player is Jackson Jr. They also have Steve Adams, and I think Steve Adams made 2 points. My auntie texted me, and she said, I'm sorry. This is a bad Lakers team. And it's an ongoing thing that I've been hearing nonstop. As I look out there on Twitter, as I look out on ESPN and TNT and all of these networks that cover the Lakers and cover their games, the narrative that they say is that this Lakers team is a bad team. And everybody is scratching their heads wondering why. So why is it? I'm going to just throw out some options for you. Is it A, Frank Vogel? Is it B, Anthony Davis? Is it C, Russell Westbrook? Is it D, LeBron James? Or is it E, multiple choice, the rest of the Lakers bench, etc.? Or is it none of the above? Is it the fact that they just don't show enough heart? Is it the fact that they don't have any energy or effort in these games? And I'm baffled. I'm baffled at how bad this Lakers team has been playing. And I know, I may not know, what people mean when they say this is a bad team. Are they saying that this team is just not fit? They don't fit cohesively together as a collective unit? Are they saying this is a bad team because they go out there and lose to these teams that we know that they should be winning? Is it a bad team because they don't want to show any energy or effort when they should be blowing teams out? So many questions, so little answers. My dad came to visit me today, and we watched the game together. And as we're watching the game, it hits me that there's something wrong with AD. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's playing injured and he just doesn't want to put it on record. I don't know if he's playing with some effects from something, some kind of illness, married life, all of this. A lot of his personal life is changing, so it's affecting his gameplay. Could be something else. But whatever it is, I looked at my dad and said, something's wrong with AD. There is no way the AD that we've seen in previous years is playing like this. These last games have been so evident that something is off with AD. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all see it. You got everybody calling him butter soft. You got everybody saying that he's getting dominated by everybody he's up against. The no names, the big names. I mean, any and everybody. If y'all don't have it now, y'all won't have it then. If y'all don't have it right now where there's a sense of urgency and y'all get out on that floor and play like this, if the time is not now, it's not going to be later. It's just not. I was talking to my dad earlier and I said, you know what? Even though the Lakers have been a bad, terrible, just all around bad team, we're still the number 6 seed in the West. And we're a game or two below the Clippers to be in the 5th seed. There's a lot of teams that are middle of the pack this year that you would think would have some rollover from the previous year. I'm going to go through the list. Let's start on the East. Philadelphia is the 7th seed in the East. They're 14-12. Atlanta, who went real far last year, are the 8th seed at 13-12. Charlotte, I believe, made it to the playoffs last year. No, they made it to the play-in. They're 14-13. Boston definitely made it to the playoffs last year. They're 13-13. The New York Knicks made it to the playoffs last year. They're 12-13. Toronto, the same, 11-14. I believe the Indiana Pacers were in a play-in. They're 11-16. The Indiana Pacers is the 13th seed. Washington, without Westbrook, still 15-11. They're the 5th seed. So they're still playing at a high clip. That's telling. Miami, 15-11. Milwaukee, the championship winners of last year, are 16-10. They're the 3rd seed. Chicago was nowhere to be found last year. They're actually 17-9 with Caruso. The Brooklyn Nets are the number 1 seed at 17-8. This is as of December the 9th. The Golden State Warriors, who we played and beat in the play-in last year, are 21-4. They're the number 1 seed. Phoenix was the honorable mentions in the championship, who beat us out in the first round. They're 20-4. They're the 2nd seed. The Utah Jazz, which was the number 1 seed all last year, had an incredible year last year. They're 18-7 in the 3rd seed. Memphis is in the 4th seed at 15-11. The Clippers are in the 5th seed, which are 14-12. Dallas in the 6th seed, 12-12. We just lost, putting us in the 7th seed, which is 13-13. Denver, 12-13. Minnesota, 11-14. Sacramento, 11-14. In the 10th seed, Portland also made the playoffs last year, 11th seed, 11-15. The San Antonio Spurs, 12th seed, 9-15. Houston Rockets, 13th seed. They went on a 6-game winning streak. They are 8-16. OKC. And then the New Orleans Pelicans. You see what I mean? So a lot of these teams are middle of the pack. The teams that did a lot, have been doing a lot for the past several years, are middle of the pack now. Could be due to injuries. Yeah. Same with us. A lot of these games LeBron hasn't played. This year has been really hard on the superstars, so I will say that. James Harden has had a terrible year, if I may say so myself. Who else has had a terrible year? AD. Been having a terrible year so far. Damian Lillard. Not having a great year. He's injured now, but so what is it going to take? All of these guys, you put them on different teams, they're balling out of control. You put AD with a different coach and put him at the focal point, he's scoring 30 and 40 a night easily. But on how many shots? You see how it is when he's in the paint, it's easy to get a bucket. But outside of the paint, jumper hasn't been there. And I just don't see anybody shooting themselves out of this. This is who you are now, bro. You just got to adapt. Doesn't look like he's worked on his game at all. I don't see no new moves. I see him getting blocked almost every night now. AD getting blocked by smaller defenders and multiple defenders on you. And you don't know what to do with your body, how to draw a foul, anything, bro. Have you worked on your game? Because if you have, To the rest of the world, it looks like you haven't. Brody had an off night, so I'm giving him a layoff. But AD has been the main one, the consistent one that just hasn't been here. Hasn't been present. Yeah, you may score your 20 points, 24, 27 points. Bro, this is a walk in the park for you. Or it should be. Why don't we have any plays to get AD with a smaller defender on him? I just don't understand. The entire NBA does this on a night-to-night basis. On a night-to-night basis. You have a big defender that goes on a small defender, and the small defender tears him up. Frank Vogel don't do this, or we don't run this. Or it's the complete opposite, where a big defender gets a small defender on him and takes advantage. Frank Vogel don't do this. No, we don't do this. Not in LA. We like to play straight up. We want to take the hardest road possible and in return lose games that we should win and get blown out by teams that we shouldn't even lose to. Can anybody tell me why Frank Vogel still has a job? Any other franchise, he would have been gone. Sacramento just let Luke Walton go. Sacramento. Where's Sacramento at? Sacramento is 11-14. We've won 2 more games than them. You understand what I'm saying? And Sacramento just let Luke Walton go, saying he's not producing. And Luke Walton has way less talent than what the Lakers have, than what Frank Vogel has. Can anybody tell me why Frank Vogel still has a job? Sacramento hasn't even gone to the playoffs in the last several years. And they let their coach go. It don't matter what coach you bring in Sacramento. Hey, listen. It's going to be the same result. They will not make the playoffs unless every Western team that has a superstar gets hurt that same year. That's the only way Sacramento is going to a playoff game. And they let their coach go. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They're not saying we don't have enough on the floor. They're saying it's the coach that's losing these games. They're saying the coach has enough talent in that locker room to be better than 11-14. They are now in the 10th seed. They are 3 seeds under us. Frank Vogel has 4 Hall of Famers and an incredible team. 5 probably with Dwight Howard. 6 with Rondo. Can somebody please tell me why Frank Vogel still has a job? Can somebody tell me why they don't think that this is Frank Vogel's problem? And Frank Vogel is the problem. Oh, I get it. You want to tell me from what you see on the floor and these players playing, they're just not playing together, or it's a new team. Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. And guess what? Right now, the Eastern Conference is built better than the Western Conference. It's no longer a cakewalk, ladies and gentlemen, like people said it was when LeBron was there. Now they're saying it's the West Coast. The Chicago Bulls has an all-new lineup, pretty much. Who stayed? Zach LaVine and all of their fans, right? They are 17-9, right under the Brooklyn Nets. Well, they're a new team, too. They have to learn all new positions and everything, too. So what's your excuse, Frank Vogel? Huh? What's your excuse? Oh, the players aren't executing your plays. The players aren't executing your game plan. But don't you think that's a problem? Why aren't they executing your game plan? Maybe because they believe that it's not going to work, or they're just not going to do it. You have a team full of veterans, bro. Oh, if they don't play defense, then they won't play. Well, guess what? If they don't play defense and we don't win ball games, you're not going to play. You're not going to play, Frank Vogel. You're going to be out there. And once you leave this franchise, there is nobody that's going to pick you up, bro. You have all the talent in the world to be the number one seed and beat almost every team out there. And you are losing on a consistent basis at a high level with the greatest player of all time. And you can't get your guys together to win a few ball games in a row? I guess we see who the real coach was now. What's up, Jason? How you doing over there in Dallas, bro? You know what I mean? Or is it Fizdale? He came over and took over the offense, and our offense looks the same as it's always been. So something tells me that's Frank Vogel too. AD on the high post. Let's feed it to him all night and think teams won't pick up on it. Let's feed him the high post and think teams won't swipe and deflect and try and get. That's why we losing all these balls. That's why we getting all these turnovers. Every guy on your team is just standing around, bro. Every guy. And they come out and play one game one way and then the next game a completely different way. Now, I've never seen anything like it. Especially not from a LeBron team. And especially not with all the talent that LeBron has this year. I've never seen a team that LeBron has had stacked like this. And they can't win. I mean, it's a little pathetic. But my name is Derek James, and you have been tuned into the Film Room Podcast. I've been a beautiful host, and you all, as always, have been a beautiful crowd. And I'm out this bit.